What's going on, CSBA, and welcome to week 8 of the CSBA Sim League. My name is Lion United, and I am here with another episode of CSBA Hoops Today. And once again, we have an additional segment that I will be looking forward to bringing to you all at the end of this podcast, so be sure to stay tuned. But for now, let's get into our typically program schedule of starting out with the week 8 admin poll. So, as we see here, the top 10 is as follows. We have number 1 Kentucky, no surprise there at 7 and 0, Texas at 6 and 1, Memphis at 7 and 0 at number 3, LSU at number 4, and Davidson at number 5 to round out your top 5. One surprise to me here that came into the top 10 is Ohio at 4 and 3. They jumped 4 spots, which is crazy, but they made their way here into the top 10. So shout out to Ohio, and let's see if they can maintain the control there and continue moving up. But then up next we have 11 through 20. We have Michigan State at 11 at 4 and 3. Mississippi State at 12, Kansas at 13, 14 is Georgia, and 15 Illinois to round out your top 15. Some big surprises here for your top 11 through 20 is you had Creighton at 3 and 4, who jumped 6 spots to get up to number 18, and you also had Gonzaga at 3 and 4 come up, jumping 3 spots to get to number 19. But a couple teams that dropped pretty significantly here is you have Georgia that dropped 3 spots down to number 14, and then you have Illinois also at 4 and 3 that dropped down 3 spots to number 15. But that is a quick glance at your top 20 for your Week 8 admin poll. And now let's get into the matchups that we're going to be covering here for the featured games of the week. We have first off, at the beginning of the week was Vanderbilt against LSU. And then we have Virginia Tech traveling to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. Michigan State travels to Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini. Kansas State travels to Michigan to take on the Wolverines. And then your final game that we'll be covering here that was streamed live on Twitch is Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, traveling to Arizona to try and knock off Arizona and bring on a huge upset. But let's get right into it and start out with Vanderbilt versus LSU. First off, I just want to say LSU has a great looking court, but Vanderbilt does not care about that. As you see a quick pass in and slam, Vanderbilt gets the quick lead, but now they're up 11 in the second quarter, and LSU bang 4-3 to cut the lead to 8. And now all of a sudden LSU has the lead in the third quarter, and we have Vanderbilt driving down in a spin, and what a spin and finish for the Commodores to get a 1 point lead. But here near the end, LSU has a lead, and boom, Vanderbilt cuts it to within 3 with 20 seconds left. But then it was not quite enough as Vanderbilt ends up getting the loss on the road against LSU, 89-82. And your player of the game is De La Soul for the Tigers, finishing with 17 points, 2 assists, and 1 steal, as we had an excellent 5-6 matchup here with Vanderbilt and LSU. Both teams very evenly matched. One of the biggest things that I think stood out to me was the points in the paint. LSU was +6. But other than that, both teams shot very well. LSU at 60%, which is going to be very difficult to beat a team that shoots 60% and makes 6 threes. Although Vanderbilt had 8 threes, shooting just a little bit better than the Tigers. But ultimately, I think LSU pulled this one out for their home fans and got the big W at home. Up next, we have Virginia Tech taking on North Carolina, which ended up being a great game, as a lot of people were projecting the Tar Heels to come in and get the victory, but Virginia Tech might have something to say about that. And North Carolina is starting out hot with a 3, up 7-2, and up 5 here in the second quarter as Virginia Tech gets it. And what a find in the corner, bang! Virginia Tech with a big 3 to cut it within 2. And all of a sudden, Virginia Tech has a lead here halfway through the third, but North Carolina says not so fast with an insane alley-oop to Potato to cut the lead to within 1. But Virginia Tech, man, they're up 7 and now What a dagger there, up 9 with 30 seconds left for North Carolina. And Virginia Tech comes away with an 8-point victory on the road. And your player of the game ends up being Dwayne Reed, who finished with 20 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 1 block. As, like I said, most people were projecting the Tar Heels to win at home, but Virginia Tech came in looking for that upset. And in my opinion, this was one of the biggest upsets of the week with the Hokies taking care of the Tar Heels. The Hokies finished 11 for 11 from the free throw line and also out rebounded North Carolina by 4 on the offensive side and 8 on the defensive side, which is crazy. They definitely out rebounded them and also shot 55% from the field. So, like I said, Virginia Tech came in looking for an upset, looking to ruffle some feathers, and the Tar Heels are going to have to go back to the drawing board and see exactly what they're going to have to do to get that back on the winning side. But great win for the Hokies, and they will look to continue the momentum moving forward. But the third game up that we will take a look into is Michigan State traveling to Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini. A great top 15 matchup here as Illinois starting out with a quick fast break and a quick 8-point lead over Sparty in the first quarter. And now it's up to a 10-point lead, but Sparty is making a little comeback. And what a dish and go and slam there by Michigan State, and another slam. And this is going to be a special AT&T 5G slam cam. And he got up there and posterized the Illini defender, and Michigan State is not going away quietly. And all of a sudden, we have a 7-point lead for Sparty in the fourth quarter. And Illinois with a quick alley oop to get within 5 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But it was not going to be enough as Michigan State comes in and takes down number 15 Illinois on the road, 82-73. And your player of the game is none other than Cleo Patrick. Everyone knows that name, finishing with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 6 blocks, which is absolutely insane. And Michigan State ends up shooting 9% better, 54% from the field than Illinois, but also only had 2 threes. They shot 2 of 10 from the three, so they're definitely going to have to clean that up if they want to continue winning ball games. But another key stat that stood out to me was second chance points. They were +7 over the Illini and +10 in points in the paint. So Michigan State came in with a game plan and came in prepared to take down a big time team in number 15 Illinois on the road, and they did just enough to get that victory. The next game we are going to be covering is Kansas State against Michigan as the Wildcats look to take down Michigan on the road. Both of these teams coming in unranked but with a lot to prove, and Kansas State down early by 6. But they have their leader Bartlett with a nice step back jumper for a long 2 to make it a 1-point game. And Atlas, oh, what an and one to take the lead almost halfway through the second quarter for Kansas State. And now they have a 4-point lead. But Michigan, what a dish and find for Carroll and Slam. What a beautiful play there for Michigan. But Michigan down 12 late, and Kansas State's giving them everything they got, and it's a one-man show here. And what a finish as Kansas State goes on the road and gets an 8-point victory for the Wildcats over the Wolverines as they sent the Wolverine fans packing, very disappointed. And your player of the game is none other than the leader, Andrew Bartlett, who finished with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block, with some of the nicest sports goggles you'll see on the court, as you see that in the player of the game picture. But like I said, both teams came in unranked with a lot to prove, and Kansas State certainly showed me a lot here on the road and showed that they have the grit and the toughness to get a win on the road, as they only shot 45%. Michigan shot 38%, which is very disappointing, especially at home. And both teams shot very poorly from the three-point line, both only making 2. But the bench points, Kansas State produced 31 bench points, which was much better than Michigan, and also had 10 blocks, which is absolutely crazy, and held a top biggest lead of 14. But Kansas State, I liked what I saw out of them on the road, but they definitely need to improve the shooting if they want to get back to being ranked and back to being a contender here in the CSBA. And our final game of the week is going to be none other than Coastal Carolina traveling to Arizona to try and take down the Wildcats. The Wildcats are looking to keep home court advantage here, but Coastal Carolina has something to say about that and won for a quick +3. And the coach is not happy for the Wildcats, but he will be now with up 2. And what a find on the fast break, now up 4 halfway through the second quarter, and Arizona still leading up 5, and Young is going to do a step back fadeaway jumper to get up 7. And here we are with Arizona up 8 late in the fourth, but Coastal Carolina with the nice little drive and dunk to cut it within 6. Will that be enough? No, that will not be enough as Arizona hangs on to beat Coastal Carolina. And this was one where I picked the Chanticleers to win, but unfortunately they did not come through for me here at the Memorial Center, with Arizona winning 84-76, and your player of the game being Antony Fernando, finishing with 23 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 5 for 5 from 3. So you can't do much better than that if you're Fernando. And both teams shot identical, 53%, and Coastal Carolina even had a +8 in the points in the paint, but the biggest discrepancy was Arizona, who was +17, finishing with 39 bench points, and also +6 with 25 assists. So Arizona, your number 20 team in the CSBA, taking one on the chin, but also pulling through thanks to Fernando and getting the win at home. But now, up next is one of our new segments, and I hope we can do this as often as we can. And this is going to be the CSBA interview, where we interview players, coaches, or people that are super fans of the CSBA. And this week we have none other than Ace Wild. Ace, thank you so much for joining us. So, Ace, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself and explain to the CSBA universe that may not know you what your role is within the CSBA.
My name is Ace Wild. I currently play for the University of Miami. Also, I'm part of the broadcasting team. I do play-by-play, and I actually just took a huge new role in the CSBA. I am officially a new admin in the league. I always kind of wanted a bigger role in the CSBA, and I didn't just want to ask. So when Wired and C-Web thought I was the right guy for the job, I was very thankful and honored.
Well, that's great to hear about taking on the new role as an admin. I know you're going to do a great job, and a lot of people respect you and everything that you do here in the CSBA. I know you're one of my favorite commentators to do commentary with, so I know you do a great job in the new role, and I wish you the best of luck. But how did you find out about the CSBA, and how long have you been involved?
Well, I think I'm considered one of the OGs in the league now. I joined way back in season 3. My buddy at the time was the coach for Duke, and he said, "Hey, so you like basketball? Why don't you join a sim league?" So I made a player named Time Lord, and the rest was history. I actually didn't know what Discord was or anything, so CSBA was the first Discord channel I ever joined. So I really enjoyed my time, and like all these seasons have been the best times of my life.
That's awesome to hear that you've been involved for such a long time here. Like I said prior, I know a lot of people respect you and all the work that you've put in here for the CSBA, and I know a lot of people feel the same way about the CSBA and how it feels like family, and it creates a really awesome community here within Discord and within the Twitch stream. So it's awesome to hear other people's points of view. But whenever you join the CSBA, or even now, do you have any goals on how you plan on supporting the CSBA, especially in your new admin role?
Me being an admin now, I want to try my best to give ideas on how we can improve the CSBA and the product. Also, I took one season off from coaching and wanted to announce I will be returning as a coach in season 15. Super excited. I missed it way too much, man.
I love when we have breaking news breaking here on CSBA Hoops today. You heard it here first, everyone. Ace is returning to the coaching realm. I personally had the pleasure of being a player under Ace at Kansas, and it was nothing but a great experience. So I wish you nothing but the best from a coaching perspective in season 15, and I'm sure you'll do very well as you did in all your other coaching, especially at Kansas whenever I was a player there under you. But maybe this is kind of a lead into the next question here. But what is your favorite thing about the CSBA?
My favorite thing about the CSBA is I really consider the league as another family to me. All of the great people I get to meet and have good relationships with. I'm so glad I found this league way back in season three. I don't know how life would be without CSBA in it.
I just love to hear the passion that you have here for the CSBA, with being here since season three and your dedication that you've proven and your community based and family based. And I know you for a fact you're not the only one here in the CSBA that feels the same way. And that's another reason why I believe you're an admin because you want nothing but the best for the CSBA and you'll continue to make it or you'll continue to assist in making it a great product. But what would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment within the CSBA? Would it be anything with coaching, or what do you think would be your greatest accomplishment?
You would think my greatest accomplishment would be finishing back to back to back Elite Eights as coaching, but I truly think my greatest accomplishment is looking how many assistant coaches and players I have had go through Kansas and go to be head coaches of their own. A couple examples: Kai Avery with Texas, Andrew Bartlett with Kansas State, and Marcella with Kansas. Makes me feel good that maybe I led by a good example and they might have took some of my advice and go on to have successful coaching careers.
I love to hear about the coaching trees within the CSBA, and I know you are a very good coach in the CSBA, and many people have gotten to learn underneath of you, and I'm sure they're grateful for all the lessons and teachings that you've provided them. And myself as a player, I know you've been a great head coach, so I look forward to getting you back into the coaching realm and seeing who else you can influence for the better here within the CSBA. But as we wrap this interview up, is there anything else that you would like to leave our listeners with?
Once again, I'm truly thankful for everyone in this league. I'm excited for the future of the CSBA. Everyone should because we truly got some great ideas. Thanks for interviewing me, Titus. I really appreciate all the work you do for the CSBA.
Well, I appreciate the kind words there, Ace, and right back at you. I'm grateful that you took the time out to do an interview today here with us at CSBA Hoops today. And I look forward to getting back in the booth doing commentary with you for our CSBA Twitch streams. That's always a great time. So hopefully, in the near future, we can get back into that and being a 1-2 punch for our Twitch streams. But again, I appreciate you taking the time and I wish you the best of luck moving forward as an admin and as a coach. But if anyone wants to do an interview or is interested in doing an interview, please reach out to me at Lion United 07. Again, that's Lion United 07 on Discord. And that will do it here today for us for another episode of CSBA Hoops Today. I appreciate you guys listening and watching, and I hope to see you in the upcoming streams and or on the next episode.